Okay, men, we're continuing to take a look at Jesus, and Jesus was all God and all man, and we're looking at his manhood, and because we're supposed to be conformed to his image of manhood. And we're just looking at some of the characteristics of Jesus, and I've talked a little bit about speaking, and that one of the things a man does is he speaks truth, and he speaks with authority, and Jesus exemplified that. He showed us what that looks like, because Jesus spoke some hard things, and he spoke some strong things. And I think one of the reasons that it's important for men to speak today is I believe that there's so much silence and there's so much intimidation, and especially today, there's almost a culture of men especially speaking truth. There's people that don't want to hear that truth, and there are people that say they're tolerant, and what they are is they're tolerant of what they say, but they're not tolerant of what anybody else says. And it's almost a situation, it seems like the devil is trying to muzzle people, and especially muzzle men. And I believe that we as men, especially in this day and hour, should be speaking truth and saying what God says and what his word says. And as I was preparing for this devotional, I wrote this down. Silence, when we say nothing, our silence many times is interpreted as consent. And sometimes we have to watch it, and maybe there is a time that we have to wait to say certain things. But the truth is, sometimes silence is just plain yellow. And sometimes in our homes, men, I could bring it down to that. Sometimes things are going on in our homes, and men, if you don't say anything as the kids talk or as the wife talks, they're going to interpret your silence as consent, that you are agreeing with what is taking place. And men, if we're going to be the men that we're supposed to be, we need to lift up our voice. And this, it doesn't have to be crude. There's sometimes in my home, I've listened to things going on, and sometimes my wife and kids have been sitting there talking like I'm not even there, and I go, whoa, wait a minute. And I say it, with a little bit of authority, and when I do, they all get quiet for a second. They look, and I say, who's the boss in this house? Who's in charge in this house? Well, I guess you are, Dad. All right. And I said, I'm listening to this stuff. Now listen, this is what we're going to do. And I take charge, but I speak. But all the time, I've had other times I didn't say anything, and then I walk away, and my family does stuff, and I say, why'd you do that? And they said, well, you listened to when we talk about it. You didn't say anything, so we thought it was okay. Men, silence is consent. If you want to be a man like Jesus, you've got to open your mouth. And you've got to speak the truth, and you've got to speak with authority if you want to be conformed to Jesus' image of manhood.